You can wake up two of the most exhausted organs in your body, your liver and your kidneys, with one quiet morning drink that costs less than a cup of coffee and uses two things sitting in most kitchens right now. This does not flush. It does not cleanse. It does not require any pill or powder from a health store. What it does is restart a filtering rhythm that quietly slows down after 50. And once it slows down, every other tired feeling in your body gets worse. Listen to me. My name is Rebecca Yoder, and I have spent more than 65 years caring for the people of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The Amish have known this for generations, that the liver and the kidneys are not separate organs. They are partners, and when one slows, the other strains. But your doctor will not tell you any of this. He will check your numbers, hand you a prescription, tell you to drink more water, and send you home. None of that restarts the rhythm. The puffy ankles, the dark circles under your eyes, the lower back ache you feel after a full night of sleep, those are not separate problems. I have watched men and women come into my kitchen swollen, tired by 10 in the morning, frustrated. One woman had been told her kidneys were just aging. She had tried lemon water. She had tried apple cider vinegar. She had tried a green powder from the health store that cost her $42 a bottle. Listen to me. You are not failing. You were given the wrong answer for years. The liver and kidneys do not need to be flushed. They need a specific kind of fuel that helps them work the way they did at 30. That fuel is in two ordinary kitchen things, and I am going to show you exactly how to combine them, what you will feel in the first week, and the one part of this drink almost everyone gets wrong. Before I go further, tell me your age in the comments, and tell me one thing you have noticed about your body in the morning that you wish someone would finally explain to you. I read every single comment on this channel. Your answer helps me know which video to make next. Now let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor was 71 years old, from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a retired church organist who still kept a small notebook by her kitchen window to write down the names of every bird that came to her feeder. She had been a healthy woman her whole life. She gardened, she walked, she cooked from scratch. But somewhere around her 68th year, something changed. She told me she had stopped wearing her good shoes to church because her feet would swell by the time the service ended, and she could not get them back on after the coffee hour. She would come home, sit in her chair, and feel a heaviness in her side, just under her ribs that did not go away until the next morning. Her face looked puffy in photographs. Her grandchildren asked her if she had been crying. She had been to 2 doctors. The first told her it was simply aging, drink more water, cut back on salt. She did both for 6 months and felt no different. The second prescribed a small water pill, which helped for a few weeks and then stopped helping. She had tried dandelion root tea from a health store in town. She had tried a liver support capsule that cost $63 for a bottle that lasted 3 weeks. She had tried lemon in hot water every morning for 2 months. What was overlooked was something neither doctor ever checked for, something the supplements never addressed, and something that the lemon water came close to touching but never reached. Within 9 days of starting what I am about to show you, Eleanor's morning swelling was gone. Within 3 weeks, the heaviness under her ribs had quieted. By the end of the 2nd month, she told me she had not felt this clear-headed in 12 years, and she had put her good church shoes back on. So how is it possible that something this simple worked when $60 supplements and prescription water pills had failed her in a row? The answer is in something happening inside her liver and kidneys that no doctor ever checked for. What no doctor checked for in Eleanor's body was the same thing they never check for in anyone over 50. It is something simple, and once you understand it, you will see why nothing else has worked for you either. Your liver and your kidneys work like a 2-stage well pump on a farm. The liver is the first stage. It pulls in everything you eat, drink, breathe, and absorb, and it sorts it. The clean things go on to the rest of the body. The dirty things, the broken down hormones, the leftover medicines, the spent fats, the waste from your own cells, those get tagged and handed off to the 2nd stage. That second stage is your kidneys. The kidneys take what the liver hands them and push it out through your urine. When you are 30, both stages of the pump run strong. The liver tags fast. The kidneys flush fast. There is no backup. But 3 things change in the body after 50. The blood flow through the liver slows by roughly 30 to 40%. The cells inside the kidneys, called nephrons, begin to retire. And by 70, you have lost nearly a third of them. And the bile your liver makes, the fluid that carries waste out, becomes thicker and slower. So now you have a slower first stage handing waste to a smaller second stage with thicker fluid in between. The pump still works. It just works at half the speed. And everything the pump was supposed to clear out begins to sit longer in the body. This is why your lemon water feels like it works for a few days and then stops. Lemon thins the bile a little, which is why you feel lighter for the first week. But lemon does not feed the liver cells themselves, and it does nothing for the kidneys. So the surface effect fades, and the slow pump goes back to being slow. But this still does not explain why the swelling and the heaviness keep coming back even after you adjust your diet, your water, and your supplements. What is causing your body to regenerate this slowdown over and over again? That answer is in a different place entirely. The answer is in your gut. And before you scroll away thinking your gut has nothing to do with your liver or kidneys, I want you to understand something. The gut, the liver, and the kidneys are part of one cleaning crew, and they share the same loading dock. Everything you eat passes through your gut first, and the gut hands what it absorbs directly to the liver through one large vein. Whatever shape your gut is in, that is the shape of the load your liver receives. By 60, the average gut has lost roughly 50% of the beneficial bacteria it had at 30. And here is what that loss does. Those bacteria used to break down fibers, fats, and old hormones before they ever reached the liver. With fewer bacteria, more of that work gets pushed upstream to the liver, which is already running at 60% speed. The liver gets overloaded, it tags slower. The kidneys wait longer for less. And the waste begins to sit. There are 3 things your gut needs to keep that early cleaning work going. The good bacteria themselves, which we call probiotics. The fibers they feed on, which we call prebiotics. And the healing compounds they produce when they eat those fibers, which we call postbiotics. Picture it like a farm. The bacteria are the seeds. The fiber is the soil. The postbiotics are the harvest that nourishes the rest of the body, including your liver lining and the small filters in your kidneys. When the gut has all 3, the liver gets a lighter load, the kidneys get cleaner fluid to push, and the whole pump runs the way it did at 40. As long as the gut keeps sending an overloaded mess to the liver, the swelling and the heaviness keep regenerating no matter what you drink in the morning. So how do we fix both layers at once? How do we restart the pump from the outside with the morning drink and quiet the source of the overload from the inside? That is what I am about to show you. Now let me show you the 2 things that restart this pump at once, starting tomorrow morning. The first thing is beetroot. 1 small fresh beet, about the size of a tennis ball, or a 1/4 cup of finely grated beet if you keep a small bag of pre-grated beet in your refrigerator. The reason beetroot does what it does is that it carries a compound called betaine, and betaine is one of the few things in any kitchen that directly feeds the liver cells. Betaine helps the liver tag waste faster. It also thins the bile so the waste moves out instead of sitting. And beetroot carries natural nitrates, which gently open the small blood vessels that run through the kidneys, so the kidneys receive more blood and can filter more in the same amount of time. You might be wondering whether the beet will turn your urine pink. The answer is yes for some people, for a day or 2. That is harmless. It is a sign the beet pigment is moving through your kidneys exactly the way it should. Do not stop the drink when you see it. Some of the people I have helped over the years have not had pink urine at all. Others have for the first week. Both are normal. The second thing is cinnamon. Real cinnamon, not the heavy sweet kind you put in baked goods. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon is what you need. Cinnamon does 2 things at once. It helps the small filters in the kidneys hold steady, and it gently lowers the sugar spikes that put extra waste through the liver after breakfast. Cinnamon also has a compound that calms the inflammation in the gut lining, which is the lining your liver receives its loading dock from. So one ingredient is helping the liver and the kidneys at the surface, and the same ingredient is also quieting the gut underneath. The first time you drink this, you may notice a warmth in your stomach within about 20 minutes. That is normal. Do it anyway. That warmth is the blood flow opening up through the abdominal organs. Now let me tell you about Harold. Harold was 68 years old, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, a retired truck mechanic who had built every workbench in his own garage and refused to sit on a chair without arms because he said he liked to know what his elbows were doing. Harold had a problem he did not tell anyone about for 2 years. He woke up most mornings with a face so puffy he did not recognize himself in the mirror, and his lower back ached on both sides every time he stood up from the breakfast table. He had been told by his doctor that his kidneys were borderline and that he should drink 8 glasses of water a day. He did. The water made him need the bathroom every 40 minutes and did nothing for the puffiness. What was overlooked was that Harold's liver was sending an overloaded waste stream to kidneys that were already slow, and the extra water was not the answer because the pump itself was not running. Within 11 days of starting this morning drink, Harold's face was no longer puffy when he looked in the mirror. Within 4 weeks, the back ache on both sides was gone. Harold told me, in his own words, that he had not stood up from a chair without groaning in 3 years, and now he was forgetting to groan. The third thing is warm water, not cold and not hot. About 10 ounces, the size of a regular drinking glass. Body warm water is critical because the liver and the kidneys both contract slightly when they receive cold liquid first thing in the morning. Warm water keeps them open. It also dissolves the cinnamon evenly, and it lets the betaine in the beet release more completely than cold water does. By the way, you should know something about the timing. This drink works best when it is the first thing you put in your stomach in the morning, before coffee, before food, before any other liquid. The liver and kidneys do most of their filtering work between 4 and 10 in the morning, and this drink gives them the fuel during the window when they can actually use it. Most people do not know that, and they have this drink with breakfast or after coffee, and they wonder why they only feel a little of the effect. Now, let me walk you through the exact way to make it and take it. The night before, peel and finely grate 1 small beet or take a 1/4 cup of pre-grated beet from your refrigerator. Place the grated beet in a small jar or mug and cover it. Leave it on the counter overnight. This soft soak helps the betaine come out of the beet into a form your gut absorbs faster. In the morning, the very first thing you do, before coffee, before food, before brushing your teeth, you bring a kettle of water to a gentle warmth, not boiling, just warmer than your hand. You add 10 ounces of that warm water to the jar with the grated beet. You stir in 1/2 teaspoon of real cinnamon. You stir for about 30 seconds until the cinnamon settles into the liquid. You drink the whole jar slowly over about 3 to 4 minutes, including the soft beet pieces at the bottom. You do not strain it. The fiber from the beet is part of the work. You do this every morning, 7 days a week, for at least 4 weeks. In the first week, you will start to see the morning puffiness in your face and hands soften. Some people see it on day 3, most see it by day 6. You may need the bathroom a little more often in the first few days, which is your kidneys waking up. In the second week, the dark circles under your eyes will start to lighten, and the heaviness under the ribs on the right side will quiet. By the end of the first month, the lower back ache that comes from tired kidneys will have softened or gone, and the morning tiredness that hits you before 10 will be replaced by a steadier energy. This protocol handles the outside. Within 7 days, you will see results, but the swelling and the heaviness will come back if the gut keeps sending an overloaded mess to the liver. The kitchen handles what is on the surface. The inside is a different question. So how do you fix the gut? And the way I tend my own gut every single day, the way the women in my family have for generations, is with kombucha. Your gut needs three things to do the early cleaning work for the liver. It needs the good bacteria, the probiotics. It needs the fiber those bacteria feed on, the prebiotics. And it needs the healing compounds the bacteria produce when they eat that fiber, the postbiotics. Most things in a health store give you one or two of those. Kombucha gives all three in one drink. Those three together quiet the gut lining, lighten the load the liver receives, and let the morning drink do the work it is supposed to do without anything fighting it from the inside. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. Now let me tell you the part of the morning drink almost every person gets wrong. The mistake is this: they take the drink with breakfast. They sit down at the table, they pour their coffee, they butter their toast, and they drink the beetroot and cinnamon water alongside it, the way someone takes a vitamin with food. I know why people do this. Their whole life they have been told to take things with food so it does not upset the stomach. Every pill bottle says it, every commercial says it. So when they hear about a morning drink, they assume the rules are the same, but the rules are not the same. When you drink the beetroot and cinnamon water with food, three things happen, and all three of them undo the work. First, the food in your stomach dilutes the betaine and the cinnamon compounds before they reach the small intestine, which is where the liver actually picks them up. Instead of a concentrated dose hitting the liver during its peak filtering window, you give it a watered-down version mixed with eggs and butter and coffee. The liver tags some of it, but most of it slides through. Second, the coffee, especially with cream, slows the bile down at the very moment the beet is trying to thin it. So the two things cancel each other out in real time. Third, and this is the part people do not see, the kidneys are designed to do their main filtering work on a clean morning stomach when the body is still in its overnight cleaning rhythm. The moment food enters the stomach, the body switches rhythms. It shifts from cleaning mode into digestion mode, and the kidneys go quiet until digestion is done. If you drink the beetroot and cinnamon water during that switch, the kidneys are not paying attention to what you sent them. They are busy elsewhere. I see this in person after person. A woman tells me she has been doing the drink for 2 weeks and seen no results. I ask her one question: when do you drink it? She tells me she drinks it with her breakfast because that is when she remembers. I tell her to move it to the very first moment she stands up in the morning, 20 minutes before anything else touches her lips. She comes back a week later and tells me the puffiness is gone. The correction is simple. The drink is the very first thing in your day, not the second, not the third. The first, 20 to 30 minutes of nothing else after it. Then you can have your coffee, your toast, your breakfast, whatever your normal morning is. If you do this for 4 weeks in that exact window, the rhythm of your liver and kidneys begins to set itself back to a younger pattern. The swelling does not just go away for a day. It stops coming back. The heaviness under the ribs quiets and stays quiet. The lower back ache that used to greet you every morning gets less and less, and one day you notice it has not been there for a week. That window, that empty stomach, that first sip of warm beetroot and cinnamon water before anything else is where the whole thing lives. What you are really protecting is the next quiet morning, the kind Eleanor had not had in 12 years. Where you stand up from bed without heaviness, you look in the mirror without puffiness, and you put your good shoes back on without thinking about it. It is never too late. The liver at 70 and 75 and 80 still knows how to filter, and the kidneys still know how to flush, no matter how many years you have been told they are simply tired. If this video has helped you, subscribe to the channel so the next one finds you. I make these videos for the men and women who have been forgotten by the clinics, and the only way more of them find me is when good souls like you bring them along. Share this with the person in your life, the one who wakes up swollen and tells you it is just age. Tell me in the comments which of the 2 ingredients you did not expect. I read every single comment on this channel. The BoochBod Kombucha Gummies I mentioned earlier are linked in the description, or you can search them on Amazon whenever you are ready. Until next time.